Join me as you and I and you take a journey to become better writers together and geek out.
I don't know what's going on my end. Everything's crazy over here.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's what I said. Oh, I got an echo.
You do.
Mm-hmm. Now to figure this out. Hold on, let me mute myself and see if that. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
Maybe lower your volumes. Use headphones. Hi, Jordan. How you doing?
So have you heard about the hit Kickstarter project, Genshin Cross Eevee?
Oh man, I love the Genshin X Eevee Lucian's Pokemon pin crossover that our good artist friend Flushmal is working on.
Yeah.
It's oh man, I just got the notification we just went live. Amazing. But you know what hasn't just gone live? The Pokemon X Genshin pin Kickstarter. If you join now, you can choose how many pins you want utilizing the crossover Pokemons of the Evolutions and certain Genshin characters. Hello, Mystic Despair. Tell me, Mystic Despair, have you checked out the Pokemon X Genshin thing? Because it's really great. If only we had the artist right here to speak on it.
Please, I just want to be free. Please.
You won't be free. You have to wait another 2 weeks. Oh, 3 weeks.
See, look at those amazing pins on the cover.
Not just one, not just two, not just three.
But all 9 evolutions done in beautiful, stunning detail and color.
I've done nothing to deserve this.
You've done amazing work, Shen. Now tell them, what is the inspiration behind some of these characters? Thank you. Amazing. So, tell me, why did you make Eevee so amazingly thick with 2 C's? Maybe 3.
Maybe 4.
Maybe that was just a choice, it's just aesthetics, just following my dreams, following my heart, just things that I have inside of me that I just want to put out there to the world, whatever those things may be.
All right.
And why is Yaemiko Sylveon so thick?
I mean, it's Yaemiko. I don't know anything about the game because I don't play the game, but people like that character.
Oh, it's okay. I play the game for it. I'll tell you why. It's because Yaemiko has a wonderful looking butt. And we thought together, using our shared hive mind of a brain, we want that thickness.
I mean, you thought that. I didn't really want that, but sure.
So, Miss Floofschmallow, if I may, what all can we obtain from this Kickstarter?
I mean, get pins, and it would be really nice if the numbers stayed stable, but we already unlocked all of the pins. There's the stickers that are still left.
Are the stickers free?
No, they're not free.
What?
They're add-ons.
Add-ons? I thought with a purchase of 2 or more pins, we get a free set of stickers.
You call that free if you have to purchase the pins?
I'm trying to help you sell your stuff. Yes, it is free.
I'm honest.
And we get a cool little pin from Bitsy Tandem all the way at the bottom with our orders.
It's adorable and I want it.
Amazing. And that one's free too, right?
Yeah.
Amazing. And I believe there's free parents with 2 or more pins.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we could get really cool plushy pillows of the pins as an add-on?
Yep. Hopefully they're really soft and huggable.
Amazing. So who is your favorite Pokemon from the new game that is about to be released this weekend?
On
I
Friday.
I still can't say, man. That's leak season, man. I might know, but I'm not speaking.
It's leak season. That's exactly why.
No. Let people enjoy. Let them like what they like. Let them be.
Is it the
Let
Hammer
the-
Bunny?
Let the magic stay until the 18th.
Is it
People are
Hammer
trying to
Bunny?
be unspoiled. Don't be
is it
that
Hammer
person.
Bunny? Is it
Don't-
Hammer Bunny?
don't be
Is Hammer
that
Bunny hot?
person.
Hammer Bunny's pretty hot.
Oh my goodness, that is a child. Don't say things like that.
No. Well, Final Form's not a child, bro. That's just short stacks.
As long as as long as it's not the third, as long as it isn't the third evolution of the grass starter, because that's awful.
Oh man, that's the starter I picked, bro. I love that. I love it with my heart.
I just
man.
wasn't a fan of the design.
I mean, to be fair, you know what? That's a fair thing. More people are just angry about the duck.
See,
A lot of people are angry about the
Ducklet's
duck.
pretty bad. Not gonna lie.
the amount of starters that start on all fours and then go to standing up are way too many compared to ones that actually stay on all fours.
Hey, at least the Fire Croc went from standing on 2 to all 4s.
Exactly.
I love all three of them. All right, I love all of them, but I could only pick one, so I chose Wee Cat. I love Wee Cat. I love her.
One of my friends calls it that too.
It is Weed Cat. I mean, it becomes an artist, so.
Wow, sir, I don't need to have weed to do my art. I just use my depression.
Man, way to bring it. So tell me, Smash or Pass, the new Salt Pokemon. The new Salt Pokemon, guys. Smash or Pass.
Why would you want to smash a Minecraft brick? That's not right. Come on, don't do that to the Minecraft brick.
Oh boy.
Jordan. Listen, I know it's Salt takes away the ghosts and all the spookies, but I mean, come on, you gotta like it, bro.
I don't even think I've seen it.
Oh my goodness. Basically, take the Stonehenge Pokemon,
Yeah.
but now make it a salt mine.
Huh.
And it looks like Minecraft. No joke. Looks like Minecraft. Kids are gonna love it.
Top tier Pokemon. Top tier Mon.
All right, that took way too long to figure out.
Hi,
Well,
Ralph.
I've been enjoying your conversations here on the Pokemon Genshin talk.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what we're talking about.
Sure.
Yeah. Definitely not talking about wanting to smash a big stack of salt.
The Game Award nominees or something else this year.
All right, people. I am excited about AnimeNYC. You guys are excited about AnimeNYC. I'm excited
yes.
about pins. You guys are excited about pins.
Yes.
This will be the perfect place to showcase our pins. It will be in AnimeNYC going, hey guys, check out the Kickstarter.
I wish you could see Shen's face right now. But...
And I'm still confident that I beat Ref to the number 2 or 3 spot, whatever it was.
Someone has backdoor access and could check. Ooh.
I didn't know creators could do that.
That's creepy.
What?
That's creepy.
What?
There's a new variation of Tentacool in the new game, and like it becomes a mushroom effectively,
What?
and like it turns its tentacles into feet. and
Wow.
runs.
I hate
I don't
that.
want it. I don't want it. I don't want.
That
I
is
don't want this.
creepy. That is very
This is
creepy.
not what I want. No.
Leave the Dark Souls creations out of it.
Let's get down to business.
To defeat the Huns.
Exactly.
Da, 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 da. Oh
All right, so
no,
what
here
else we got
comes
showcased over here
Disney's
before,
coffee strike.
before the rest of our, you know what? Let's throw Herman into this whole craziness.
How is everyone?
We are doing good, but since
Doing
we're all
all
here
right.
talking about Anime NYC, and you're going to be at Anime NYC, I just had to bring you into the show, and you know we can discuss all our beautiful Anime NYC-ness.
That is correct. Good to see you all. Thank you for having Sigma Comics.
Anytime, brother.
Not a
We
problem.
love you guys at Sigma Comics, and it's just so funny. And I'll start off the show with the whole thing anyway. That you know, New York Comic Con didn't feel that. And that just surprised the hell out of me. But I gotta admit, you were really classy. We saw your poster all over the outside of the convention.
In truth, it was me who had to show it off to Ralph because I found where they all were.
Yeah, once he told me they were there, I went looking for them. I was like, ooh.
Didn't they look great?
Oh, definitely.
I'll tell you, at night they look good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, it was a surprise to you. It was a surprise to us. We basically had an interaction with one of their managers, and it didn't go that well. And you know, they made a decision which we disagreed with, but at the end of the day, it's their show, and you know, we respect their decision. Frankly, I think it was a bit extreme. I think they went overboard, and I think the decision was the wrong one, right? So at the show, I met with the CEO of the organization, Reed Pop, and we had I'm not going to lie, we had a very intense interaction. It lasted a good 10, 15 minutes.
Wow.
But when the dust cleared, what was discussed and what the result of the discussion was that they were going to sincerely readdress the matter of us, you know, participating in their events. In my view, this was just a one-off type of thing involving one individual who had a certain, you know, mindset against us, and a new employee that was hired basically decided to, you know, be, you know, let me just say that we discussed the matter, and from what I can see from my vantage, it looks like we may have a positive outcome with this, and I hope so.
That's good.
Because the decision is way extreme.
Right.
This is something that one minor thing that happened at the show that I think was unnecessarily and unfairly, you know, exacerbated, and
Right.
it is what it is. This was this one show, and you know, I think cooler heads will prevail. We had a very good conversation, and in fact, following that conversation with the CEO of Reed Pop, we had an email exchange very recently, and that was also a very cordial, sincere interaction. And you know, I mentioned from the beginning, I'm very impressed with the show they put on. They do a very good job, and even though I wasn't there to attend Reed Pop's New York Comic Con this year, at least from the crowd that I saw assembled, it was very impressive. And you know, kudos to them, and I hope they had a great show. And frankly, I hope they have great shows moving forward. You know, we do want to participate because the truth is that, you know, we're a new up and coming, you know, small publisher, and we can't have setbacks like this, especially our biggest one. You know, this is our Super Bowl for all intents and purposes. You know, we have a very big, we are very fortunate among small new publishers in that we have a very big budget to do lots of things.
Right.
And we are able to be at a different city every single weekend because we have a great concept. And we're able to do this because we firmly believe in the concept. And frankly, because the product is moving. We're selling out everywhere we go.
Yeah, I've been watching your feed, and you've been saying we sold out here, we sold out here, we sold out here.
Right. We're selling out everywhere we go, and it's because we have a concept that is responsible for lots of great things, and it's the concept is solid. The art is absolutely solid. The price is there's lots of things that we have going for us, and of course our cause being the biggest one. You know, we fight animal abuse through comics, and this was all by design. We knew that as violent as our comic book is, and our as out of control, well, not out of control, but as intense as our character, our lead character is, or
exactly.
people were going to be here for it, and they are. So that's ultimately what it is. And if you lose something like New York Comic Con, which is the only show except for AnimeNYC that we don't have to pay, you know, thousands of dollars to be at, with lodging and travel and all this other stuff, we finally get a reprieve, and all that money can finally go back to the company so that we can keep doing what we do. So anyway, that was a long way of saying we had some difficulty. We had some difficulty, and hopefully this is a minor hill, and we're, you know, we could both, you know, get over this and move forward and, you know, make some money and for a good cause. So
that's great to hear, because, you know, we love your book here, and you're right. When you're New York based, when these New York shows are the ones that help us out, because that means you don't have to pay for hotels, you don't have to pay for travel, you don't have to pay, you know, it is a little bit on the expensive end when you're paying for certain things, but it's not as expensive as having to travel to another state or another country.
Right, and I do that every weekend. You know, listen, we do go to other countries. You know, and if the budget allows us to do all these things, and it's because, again, we firmly believe in the book. The book is doing what it's supposed to do, and everything's on track for us to, you know, get to what we have to do. So anyway,
and speaking of which, right now you guys are on track. You guys have your Kickstarter going at this moment.
Right.
Let's see. Let's bring it up over here.
Sure.
Boom. There you go. You guys have your Kickstarter going. It's at $1,920. So you're halfway. Yeah, you're halfway. More than halfway, actually. More than halfway there. You still got 12 days to go, and you got 122 backers. Ooh, that's a lot of nice numbers there.
Yeah. We, you know, our Kickstarter numbers are always very deceiving, because we basically do well on the very first day. Yeah, I guess it's not unlike any other campaign.
Yeah.
Everybody does their campaign, and, you know, the first day is always great, and then of course things start to settle down as you go down the trending list there on Kickstarter and whatnot. But we have had some tricky experiences with Kickstarter. One year we actually had a situation where our campaign wasn't even showing up. Yeah. And I know that's
stuff like that. Yeah.
That's a very new hot topic on Indiegogo, I think was the I have a friend who many of you probably know, who's, in my opinion, a legend in comic books, and that is Mike Barron.
Yeah.
He's someone who I consider him a friend, because he has helped us enormously with guidance on Here Comes Calico. And regardless of what you think of him or his politics, the bottom line is he's an absolute legend, and he shouldn't have happened to him what's happening to him. And if, for those of you who don't know in the audience, he's being shadow banned, which is a topic, a term, I should say, that I only recently learned of. Apparently, these crowdfunding sites, such as Kickstarter and Indiegogo, they can apparently take your project and decide to vanish it on their website so that people can't find it, which is absurd. I mean, it totally defeats the point of using Kickstarter and Indiegogo, crowdfunding sites. Exactly. The whole point of why we use these platforms is so that we can take our creativity and share it with platforms like Indiegogo and Kickstarter, so that they can benefit from the revenue and presence that the project can generate, and in turn the creator can benefit from the audience, and experience new growth and sharing the title. So it becomes a community, a very reciprocal community that cultivates the arts. Well, that's in no way happening to Mike Barron's project. Mike Barron is someone, for those again who aren't aware, he's a seminal Punisher writer, and he's also someone who created some of the most well-known and respected indie titles, such as Nexus and The Badger.
Right.
So, he's a brilliant artist. And he's not the only one that this is happening to. So, it's very unfortunate. And why I bring it up is because we had an experience like that on Kickstarter. Of course, I didn't know that was the term, but we had, I think it was the second or third campaign where people,
Right.
I think it was the third one, people just weren't finding it at all. And it turns out they were just keeping it away from people. I don't know why these people would do this, because this is a project that goes to fight against animal abuse. Maybe they deemed our hero a bit too racy and controversial.
It's possible. It's funny you say that, because there's times where I'm looking for certain projects and I find it's really difficult to find them.
Right. It happens. And now there's a term for it. It's called shadow banning. So,
well, we know shadow banning well, because it happens on TikTok, it happens on Instagram, it happens on YouTube. Yeah.
I see. Well, This is all new to me, and it totally explains when you look at these reports. I actually sent them an email, which, by the way, they still haven't responded to, about their reports. And you look at these reports on Kickstarter, I said, wait a minute. They're giving themselves all this credit for all these leads that apparently their audience is generating on the campaign. But it doesn't even make any sense. So I think, given that experience by Mike Barron and some of the other creators, the experiences I'm having, it's very, you sort of scratch your head as to why we're even using Kickstarter, because we have our own communities. And frankly, in my view, about 95 to 99% of the people who are doing this Kickstarter are right from our own list. So all we're doing is giving them more people to join. We're the ones helping them. Exactly. So imagine this, a multi-million-dollar company.
Because you guys already have a huge following, and I've seen it in the conventions, because that's where you're getting your big numbers, is the conventions.
Right. We're selling out. The conventions is where, the conventions dwarf. That's why I'm saying it's a very poor representation, these Kickstarters, because we're moving between 800 and 900 units every single weekend at these shows.
Right.
We're selling out every show. We're bringing 800, 900 comics. That's 100 pounds of comics that we're selling out in 3 days. So I don't know. It's almost comical to use this Kickstarter stuff here. We could just create our own website, or just host this stuff right on our website.
And I know what it is too. Is that it gives you a different audience. It gives you it's supposed to give you a different audience. It's supposed to give you a different area for people to look at you, because you're already hitting the convention audience. They're fine. Right. This is the audience of the people are at home who are looking at all these new independents and wanting to check them out.
Right. That's what it's supposed to be. But I think somehow, that's the thing about people are tribal. This is why people, without getting too much into it, and our lead character, the Calico, makes it very clear what he thinks of people. People suck sometimes. You aim to do something great, and you see it with the best minds, whether it's a politician, a team, an army, whatever it is. The best people go in. It doesn't matter how good they are. They always go in with the best intentions, with a pure heart, to do something great. And sooner or later, somewhere down the line, things just don't arrive at where you think the thing would go. And it just gets messier and dirty and grimmer. And I think that's what's happening at Kickstarter and Indiegogo. I think too many people are ganging up on other people, and it's becoming a tribe thing, and who likes this and who likes that. Listen, people, seriously, just help creators. Remember the mission. Help creators regardless of their color, their religion, their politics, their gender, whatever it is. Forget about all that and just go back to really what you were meant to be. Okay? An organization that provides community for people who have great ideas, that want to share the ideas with other people. And if those people, like those ideas, let them support it. Let them be found by these other people. Stop doing these malicious, childish, malevolent things. It's silly. It really is. And it's embarrassing, Frank. I'm embarrassed at both Kickstarter and Indiegogo for treating creatives this way. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a legendary creator. It could be anybody who just has an idea that, being a creator is a beautiful thing. It's so beautiful because you have something inside your mind and inside your heart that you want to share with other people. And then you find out that these other people are touched by it, right? They feel something deep inside of them. they emote. You know, they're happy, they're sad, they're scared. You know, all these emotions we can do as creators. We have so much power with the pen, or you know, with the clay or the canvas, whatever it is, our medium of creativity. Let us create. Let us share our art, regardless of our color, our gender, our politics, our religion. Forget about all this nonsense. Stop ganging up on people because you don't like them. Share our art with the people and stop doing this stuff. Seriously.
Yeah, because you know it's supposed to be this place where you know you help people's dreams come true.
Right. Right. Just imagine. I mean, all of us here are people who have creativity burning inside of us that can use a tool like Kickstarter. You know, imagine going to your tool belt. Okay, you're trying to fix a sink or something, and this tool that you're relying on to do the job all of a sudden decides it's going to do something else. You know, it doesn't even make sense. This is what's happening with you know, Kickstarter and Indiegogo. They have to remember who they are, what they're supposed to be, and drop all this nonsense about gatekeeping and who can get in the popular, you know, on top of this page, and it's nonsense. So that's my feeling on it. And frankly, I hope that people like, you know, Mike Barron and other people who have been, you know, shadow banned and have had their projects withheld, I really hope they get some equity on this and justice, because this is no good. This isn't good. This isn't good for anybody. Last time I checked, this was America. You know, this was America, and you know, we don't do that here in this country. We're not supposed to do that. So,
Supposed to help each other out. We're supposed to move each other forward.
right.
You know, yeah.
Right. I want to learn about all your guys' projects. I want to learn, you know, what kind of styles you go into, what the topics are, because you never know where you're going to be inspired next. You know, doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are. You could always be, as a creator, you could always be inspired, and you always have that drive and that desire to learn about new things in the world, because that's where we learn our craft, right? Is observing things. And then we put out and project our version of the things that we create inside that inspire us.
Speaking of all this, what made you decide to go to AnimeNYC? We love it with the convention. It's amazing, and I feel like what you're talking about happens there. People actually get to show off their stuff.
Right. Well, this is, again, it's part of the beauty of being inspired by lots of different things. When I was a kid, so I'm a Dominican American, and I know Ralph, you're Puerto Rican American, so we're cuginos, we're cousins of Dominican.
I am Dominican.
That's right. That's right. Wepa. So
no, I am Dominican.
I'm the Puerto Rican.
He's the Puerto Rican.
Okay. All right. Listen. To us,
we're all family. I know. We're just
we're all in the same gang, right? So,
yeah, exactly.
And it's a beautiful thing, you know. We say in Puerto Rico, "La perla de la Santilla," you know. So, but that's the thing, you know. Anime New York City and AnimeNYC is just another place for us to share our creativity, because we have this character, the Calico, who absolutely could resonate with that audience. I was going into the fact that I'm Dominican American, and when I was a kid, I was raised both here in New York City, specifically in the Bronx, and in the Dominican Republic. And in the Dominican Republic, every single cartoon, okay, every single one, was a Japanese anime when I was a kid in the 80s. Okay. So, you know, I'm not kidding you right now. I don't know if you guys are familiar with an anime back in the 80s called Cobra, where the guy would take, have you heard of Cobra? He would take his arm off and he would shoot it. It was like he had one of his arms was
sounds familiar. I'm remembering something, but it's been a long time.
That is totally a rated M for mature, you know, anime. We were watching that on public TV as kids, you know.
You're right though, because when I would visit DR, they would have a lot of those anime type cartoons dubbed in Spanish. Yeah.
Right. It was all dubbed in Spanish, and they were all Japanese anime.
Yeah.
Right. So anime, you know, Japanese culture was very influential to me as a kid growing up.
Well, there's
And
a lot of Japanese people in the Dominican Republic too.
yeah, right. So it was sort of the first stage of me engaging with creativity, in this case animations, for kids.
Mm-hmm.
And manga, anime, all those things were sort of key, seminal to my American story. When I came here to the U.S., even though I was born here, I spent my early years, most of them, in the Dominican Republic. So I came back here, I should say. Comic books were really the second component, and that actually helped me speak the language better. So my first language is actually Spanish. So I think that both work hand in hand, anime and Western comics.
I agree.
To create this wonderful platform, visual platform medium that allows us all to create. So yeah, I think anime. That's why we do these shows, because we see an opportunity for this character, and we think it's going to be great moving forward. We're definitely doing more of these shows, these anime shows, moving forward.
And I agree, you should do them. The anime community is amazing. They're very supportive. If they like something, they do like something. They love it. And they just come out to support very readily.
And let's be frank, it's younger. The market's younger, because Western comics, I'm going to say something bad about the big two, but they sort of dropped the ball, in my opinion.
I mean, it's not necessarily that it's younger. It's that there's a lot more variability and a lot more options than just what the big two produce. Like, even with what Dark Horse produces, you're still limited to certain genres. There's no expansion. There's no different variations and different sort of tones. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. But even Dark Horse has, what's his name? Muri's Berserk. That's like their best selling title ever. Well, Dark Horse is only a distributor for that. They're not a publisher of it.
Berserk, the title, Dark Horse.
Yeah, they're only a distributor.
Yeah, but they're still doing it. They don't have to do it.
Yeah, but it's still like,
imagine Marvel
this way. Right now I could go and watch an anime about a guy who gets reborn into another world with the ability to have a virtual vending machine as disposal. Find me some equivalent of that within the American comic space.
Well, you'd have to go into the independent scene and do that.
Right.
Though.
But even the independents don't do that, because most of those comics are just heroes.
Because the independent scene is so broad that we don't know everything.
Well,
there's so much stuff in the independents.
Right.
You don't really know what's out there.
Here's the thing. That's why my knock is against the big two, because the indies, if anything, they're the ones who are, helping, if anything, bring younger audiences back. They just don't have the means. My point being that the big two really dropped the ball on maintaining, having kids read comic books. If you look at the big two in terms of publishing, in terms of what they put out and the accessibility to comics, well, a kid's not going to spend $5.99 for a comic book. $6.99. It's not happening.
That's what the issue is, because the big two like to deal with our generation, because that's who they're chasing. They're chasing the same people who were buying their comics when we were young.
And that's my point, is that when you go to Comic Cons, comic shows in general, even comic book shops, the age, collectively speaking, is a bit higher with respect to anime. You're going to get a younger crowd there, because they really can serve a lot of different things. They actually have different genres for the manga comics, and that's a wonderful kind of thing. But I really think that, for now at least, they've done a better job. I'd say over the past 15 to 20 years, they've really done a better job of cultivating the younger audience, especially here in this country. And I think that if Marvel and DC, frankly, could take some points from manga, and
they try to. They do it wrong, but they try to.
Well, listen. Let's hope they don't stop, because I think once the big two became were bought out by the big corporations and things, their focus has really been mainly on the bottom dollar and the bottom line, and that's mostly in the movie theaters. So I think if there was a concerted effort to really get back to the basics and put the money back into cultivating good creators, supporting them, nurturing them, putting money back into those titles, and really getting those things going up again, I really think you'd get a lot more interesting comics, younger audiences comics. And frankly, that's even though our title's rated M for mature, we are trying to do that because we have other things in the works too. So let's see how this all works out. But ultimately, we're going to do as many different things as we can do, and I recommend that to everyone here. You know, because you can't just put all your eggs in one basket, and you have to try anything. And I think anime is a very good frontier.
Yeah. Just so you know, Nat, we're not completely disagreeing with you. We're just saying
Oh,
that.
of course, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we were just saying that the whole thing is that the Marvel and DC dropped the ball. You know,
I'm just here playing with a lizard, man.
Of course you are.
Yeah, we're all on the same page.
We're all on the same page here. Yeah, completely. And that's why we like AnimeNYC, because, you know, it's a bunch of people coming together who, you know, may disagree about certain things, but, you know, they're on the same page about so much more.
Right. It's a party. You know, when I go to anime shows, it's literally it's like you're at a party, and everybody's doing its thing, and everybody's really, really into their stuff, and they know their stuff. It's really fun. I mean, this is not to say that, you know, comic book conventions aren't that way as well. It's just that you really see the gamut at the animes, and it's really fun to participate in that. And it's great to do all sorts of different things, because you never know. You know, it's not just the animes, it's video games, you know, these video game shows. And of course, in the anime, you do have a good video game component at those shows as well. So
you definitely have a huge presence of video games at anime conventions.
Right. Yeah,
and
we really
board games as well, which is kind of weird, because board games and D&D have actually started to work themselves into the anime conventions.
Right, and that's fun.
Yeah.
You know, when I was a kid, I think, Raph, you know this. I was a boxer.
Yeah.
And when I was competing, I would have, and I also went to art school, by the way, at the same time, and in New York, School of Visual Arts. And some of the kids were into that, and they would see me fighting on TV, and they were like, oh, you know, they had this whole character drawn up of me being some kind of warrior person. And I got to learn about the whole D&D world. I actually played a game, but I never stuck with it because I never really understood it. But I certainly played it as a video game, as a gamer, because I love video games. So I played role playing games as a kid, and I love them. My favorite one was called Shadowrun.
We love Shadowrun.
I love that game.
And Shadowrun actually had its own pen and paper game as well.
Right, sure. That's why I'm bringing it up. Because I knew that it had that, and it had a Sega Genesis and Sega
Nintendo. I remember that game.
Version. I played them both. I love them both. And this is wonderful. You know, we are part of such a rich community, creators and visual creators in comic books, video games, D&D, anime, all these wonderful things that we can engage in and enjoy and understand. Imagine any other kind of industry that allows you, that goes into to allow you to intelligently, and functionally go into all these different genres and understand how to enjoy these things. That's what being a visual creator allows us to do, and it's super fun. And we've been blessed. You know, I'm very fortunate to have grown up, you know, in the 80s and 90s, and, you know, learned about all these wonderful things.
I enjoyed the 80s and 90s.
Absolutely.
It was a lot of fun.
We've been blessed, you know. So
yeah, and I like seeing how things have progressed. I like seeing how the next generation is taking it and running with it. I actually, like you, I wish Marvel and DC would wisen up and realize that they need to figure something out.
well, listen, there are a lot of good ideas out there. One of them, I think, is hiring some of these knowledgeable past. I shouldn't even say past, because some of these people are working. You know, these active legends. Let's call them active legends, like Mike Barron, and, you know, put them on a salary as a consultant to nurture today's talent. Because think of all the knowledge this man has that he could be sharing, giving guidance to someone who's writing today's Punisher, right? They have the Punisher walking around in some kind of Halloween, you know, logo or something. I don't even know what that looks like. Some kind of demon on there. I don't know. He'll be walking around and he'll have wings by the end of the year, maybe, or like tassels on his, you know, shoe. Who knows?
Oh, well, they've done so much with the Punisher. It doesn't matter. You know, he was a Ghost Rider for a while, which actually makes kind of sense, because Ghost Rider is the spirit of vengeance. Right. But they've taken the Punisher so many different ways.
No, you listen. there are, think about this, you have millions of followers. Okay? I don't mean like social media. I mean, you have all of these titles have had at one point had millions of people who are interested in learning about the stories of the Punisher, Ghost Rider, Fantastic Four, Avengers, all this stuff. And, for whatever reason, Marvel said, well, I think we should focus all the money on these movies. And you know what? We don't need to pay that writer, XYZ. And guess what? Little by little, they start leaving. And you start getting kids who were just literally a day before working at, Subway, who don't have a background in writing comics. Worse, don't even know the back history of I mean, seriously, just imagine.
But there's another side to that too, because a lot of these newcomers, they don't really care about what the older generation did with the books. They don't want to. It's weird because we're moving forward, but at the same time we're taking stuff going, well, we don't care what you did. We're going to do what we want to do, and it doesn't matter what you did. We might take some of the stuff that you did, but we really don't give a shit about what you did.
Well, here's the problem with that, Raph. Mm-hmm. Here's the problem. Comics is a business, and that's the thing a lot of people forget. I'm a creator, but I understand this is a business. Okay, and it is remarkably self-centered to walk into a restaurant. Okay, like let's just use McDonald's as an example.
Mm-hmm.
They have a menu that has they've invested billions of dollars into creating that they know works. So for some kid to come, I think we're going to scrap the Big Mac. Let's try something new. Let's call it the Jackie Burger.
Yeah.
Let's do that and expect that the audience, the customer who's been going to this restaurant for the past 30 years and has an expectation. That's the key. A brand expectation is just going to bite on this and be happy. Well, here's what's happening. A lot of people are going back to the counter and saying, what the hell is this? I don't want this. And you see it reflected in the numbers. So yes, I understand. It's a wonderful thing to be a young creator and to want to do your own thing, but you have to respect the source material.
See, I feel like that's what happened with Star Wars, because they were so busy in trying to get to where they wanted to go, which is do their own thing.
Right.
They kind of pissed on top of all the older generations are going, well, we might give you something to look at, but we don't care about what your story is. We want to do our story. And I feel like that's what the reason Star Wars went the way it did was because they kind of went, well, we understand you guys are the backstory to what we want to create, but we're just going to use the skeleton of it, and then we're going to do whatever we want to do. And I'm like, dude, as a storyteller, you need to work with what you have, either that or start from fresh. You don't mess with that story in order to create this, unless you know where you're going and how you're doing, because it's a journey to writing. And I feel like sometimes people don't understand that, if you have a backstory, you need to figure out how to work that backstory into what you're doing now.
Right. Raph, just imagine you want to work on cars too, just like the mechanic, down the street. You walk into that shop and say, all right, well, I don't know. I don't care what you guys are doing. I'm going to do my own thing in here in this engine. And, again, no knowledge of the car's back history, story, what's going on. You just decide you're going to do what you want to do. Okay. You hand the keys back to the driver. And in about 5 minutes, he's pushing his car back into your lot. This is not working, and this is why I think the point of the reference to McDonald's is a good one, because
it is, because that's why I went to Star Wars way, because that's exactly what they did.
Right,
they said, we have this.
Right,
we're gonna call it this now.
Right, no, they're going right. It's right. Very well said, Raph. They're going there for a reason.
Exactly.
They're going there. They're not going there for you. Okay, they don't even know who you are. They're going there for this thing, and if you want to learn about this, that's great. Learn about it. Cut your teeth on the material. Really roll up your sleeves, and it's a fun universe, regardless of what they're putting you on.
Exactly. Yeah.
Don't be antagonistic. Learn. Be eager to learn, and I think that's something that you're seeing, and frankly, it's not the kids' fault. It's the editors. The editors are the ones that really.
It's the companies. The companies. This is the direction you want to go.
Absolutely.
So we're going to tell you to go this way.
Right.
We're telling you what to do.
Right. The kids, the young people that are involved in here that are doing this stuff, I wish them all the luck in the world. And what I really wish is that they get nurtured, you know. And I just don't think that that's happening right now. I think they're being thrown in to the water and not getting the nurturing that they need. So
completely, yeah. You know, again, and it is what it is. I feel like that companies are so busy to wanting to get to the new generation that they're you know, they're forgetting the history. And if you forget the history, the new generation got involved into what you're doing because of the history of the books or the history of the franchise. So you can't really forget all that. You can play with it and tweak it and move it forward, but you can't really go, well, that stuff doesn't really matter.
Right. I think we alienated our guests. And
oh no, the guys are just back there doing stuff.
What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Tell me. Jump on in. I'm hogging up all the airtime here.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah, fine.
I mean,
what do you guys think about what's going on?
Hagar, I saw you nodding when I was talking about the Star Wars stuff.
I mean, the new trilogy is something that should have never existed. 7, 8, and 9 are terrible movies, even though I like 7 and hold on. Well, 7 and 8 were bad enough to where I didn't want to watch 9 at all whatsoever.
Exactly. I enjoyed 7. 8
I didn't even enjoy them.
Off. By the time 9 rolled around, I was like, "What the hell are you guys doing?"
Kylo Ren's not a good character.
Oh boy!
And then whiny little.
And then
in all fairness, Luke Skywalker was a whiny little.
Sure, but yeah.
I know where you're coming from, Hagar.
Say what you will about Mark Hamill. Let me tell you, that guy was a good actor, though.
He's great. The actor's great. The character.
And then I don't know. I feel like they could have done a little bit more with Snoke than just killed him off in whichever movie that was.
Right. That was kind of a waste
because if I remember correctly, I haven't read like the books or anything, but I'm pretty sure Snoke's more important than the movie made him seem.
Right.
It's funny because he's not really in the books and stuff like that because they created him for the movie.
Yeah.
But you can tell, at least from what JJ was setting up in the first movie, that Snoke was supposed to be more important than they did in the second movie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use an analogy here, and I don't know if this is the right one, but it's sort of the one that feels right to me. When I was a kid, I really loved the books from Todd McFarlane. Anytime Todd McFarlane was on a book, oh man,
great books.
I was just like, oh man, this guy, the way he draws Spider-Man is just breathtaking. Every page, I was hanging on every single panel, every single one. The minute he left Spider-Man, I turned in. I didn't even realize this. You know, as a kid, you don't know what's happening at these companies. So you go down to the block and you put down your $1 back in, the early 90s. And you're expecting to come away with a nice Todd McFarlane comic book. And all of a sudden I see, what's his name? Eric Larson on the cover. And I said, what the hell is this? Now, don't get me wrong. He's a good artist. Everybody has a different style and tastes. And you could see the guy was working really hard. At least he was trying. That's the thing. He was trying to do the whole. And to his credit, I'll give him this. He really did a decent job of, trying to follow the style. But wow, could you imagine trying to follow an act like Todd McFarlane on Spider-Man? So it's kind of this a similar thing here. I understand that these movies were so incredible in the 80s, but for peace sake, do it, really get in and try hard, like Eric did at least. You know what I mean? Eric got in there and he was he did the spaghetti webs, spider webs. He did the break back posing. He did his part to try to keep the thing good. And frankly, if you look at the numbers, he did a good job. He actually made the book.
He did a good job.
He kept the sales up.
He's a very good Spider-Man guy.
Right. There's an example of somebody who picked up for someone who, did a fantastic job. And what did he do? He didn't just come in and say, you know what? F you guys. I'm going to come in and do whatever the hell I want. No, you respect the source material. You see understand the business first of the title and see that it's working. Cultivate that. and then, you know, keep driving those touchdowns. And that's what he did. You know, he put on the helmet and he did the job. And, you know, to his credit, it's not my personal taste, but the guy did the job. And that's what I'm saying to the creators now, whether you're a writer or an artist, just respect the source material. It's not going to hurt you to go back and read some back issues and really, you know, maybe it'll inspire you to do some, you know, come up with a great story. There's so much. Could you imagine? I mean, it's like a gold mine being put on a book like Batman, for Pete's sake, or you know, Robin. You got decades. You have generations of content that could inspire you out there. I don't think there's. I mean, this is a bit of a stretch, but to me, as a comic book creator, newly minted comic book creator, I mean, I don't think there's a bigger honor than being put on a book like, you know, Spider-Man or, you know, Batman, to be a creator. That says a lot about, you know, what the people think about you, and the least you could do is go in there and get yourself educated.
Exactly. You know.
So,
see, but
and I think
again, at the same time, usually it's the company that causes the issues.
Right.
You know,
It's a
they don't
company.
want to tell you what to do.
Right. Right. And this is something that the audience doesn't get. You know, these are a lot of these are just people who need jobs, you know, and I totally respect that. And you need a job, you need a job. I'm not going to lie. You know, if I was 20, 22, whatever, and I would say, hey, we're going to put you on Batman, would I say no? Probably not. I know in my case, though, I'd definitely be, you know, there would be a lot of sleepless nights. I would definitely be reading the source material, respecting it, and trying to at least, you know, keep up with the story and not just come in there and piss on.
Because you see that a lot. You know, I understand that the movies have to be different than the comics or the stories that we grew up on. But you see a lot of that when it comes from translation from comic to movie, where they go, okay, it's a comic book, so we don't want it to be so comic booky. You know, it needs to be more realistic. And I'm like, it's a superhero movie. What do you mean realistic?
Right. Yeah. And the other thing is, does it really have to be totally different? You know, and the other part too is people don't understand. People can't take criticism these days. That's one thing I have to say that I've really learned for being part of this industry. Wow, I can't believe how thin-skinned people are taking criticism. I was very fortunate. I went to school of visual arts. We had some teachers that ripped your work apart in front of everybody. And these are people who are coming in from, you know, SVA is no small school.
Yeah, no.
This is a very well-respected art school. In fact, one of the most respected art schools in the world. And so you get people from all across the world. And just imagine, you just had a nice conversation with someone prior to class, and they feel highly of you, and your teacher comes and rips the crap out of your work, okay, and brings you down all the way down a few notches. But the bottom line is, I experience this pretty much every single day at you know, at school. And I don't know if these creators today have had this experience. You listen, man, or gal, or they, whatever. You're going to be, if you create something, when you put it out into the world, people have every right to look at it and feel the way they do about the character. They're allowed that. And if anything, it only, you know, you need to learn how to make that criticism make you stronger. We get criticism very regularly because our character, the Calico, looks like Black Panther. Well, guess what? If you look at a black car, two black cars, one a Lexus, another one a BMW, guess what they're going to look like from a block away? They're going to look kind of similar. Okay? We got two cat-based characters. Guess what they have? They have cat ears. Yeah. And guess what colors? Guess what colors Calicos have on their bodies that Black Panthers have? Other than that,
it's funny because, you know, I guess I'm a comic book guy, and I can't see it. You know, I know what Black Panther looks like. That is not what Black Panther looks like.
Of course not. But you know,
I feel like that's because, and then you hear it a lot from people. That's because you're a comic book guy. I'm like, well, shouldn't you be distinguishing from this too as well? You know, they look different to me.
Right. I mean, listen, the suit is entirely different. Exactly. But listen, it's fair though. And that's my point is that it's fair. It's fair to be criticizing. All of us here who create stuff, we should all be criticized. We should all be, you know, challenged, because frankly, that's what a criticism is challenge. You know, you're not going to walk into a gym and pick up weights, and all of a sudden you're going to become Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's not how it works. You got to. There's no pain, no gain. You have to be challenged. If you want to grow as a creator, you got to put in the work. You got to swallow the criticism, okay, the good and the bad, and help you make that craft. Whether you're writing, whether you're designing, whether you're drawing, whatever it is, inking, make it better. Take the criticism. Trust me, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
We had someone who in our very first year, they actually, not only did they not like the comic book, they created a YouTube video about how crazy and bad our comic book was. I mean, you have to have a lot of passion to do something like that. Okay.
Charles says criticism is good. It makes you learn to do better.
Absolutely. Well said, Charles. That's what it's all about. It's like I'm saying, you got to take it, and you can't just fall apart and or get angry at someone because they're handing you your burger back and saying, oh, this is, it's not good. Say, okay, tell me what it was. Was it too salty? Was it too sweet?
See, but that's the thing. I feel like that's what we're missing now, because we used to get all this stuff before.
Right.
But we used to get at the same time, well, this is what you did wrong.
Right.
Or this is what I don't think, or this is what I didn't like. I feel like now it's like criticism for the sake of criticism. Oh, that thing sucked. I'm like, why did it suck? Because it sucked. You're not telling me anything. That doesn't help me. How do I make it better if all you're going to tell me is it sucks? And that's one of the arguments you hear these days, especially from a lot of fanboys, is that it just sucked. I didn't like it.
Yeah, listen, you're going to have a portion. It doesn't matter. You're going to have a portion of the crowd that is just going to, want to hate or troll or whatever. Because that's just how they are. But all I'm saying is when you actually get good criticism, don't just turn on and say, hey, everything's bad. I'm going to give you an example. I have learned of a creator by the name of Vita Ayala, okay, as a newly minted creative professional in the world of comics. Okay, I'm only 2 years into this, by the way, guys. And
you're doing pretty good for 2 years.
Well, listen, it's because I appreciate and respect the history. That's really why, and I have a great team working. I'm not doing this alone.
That's all important. And you said it right there. That's the important thing.
That's it.
I know we're going to go in that direction. And it's the fact that, it's not us. It's not one person doing it.
Right.
It's a team of people working on something. And that's what makes it great. It's because of the team. Go ahead. Continue.
Right. Yeah. So I learned that she's also a Boricua, fellow, Latina, which is a beautiful thing. And I'm so happy, that she's creating. But, aside from that, I've heard a lot of pretty bad things about her. And I started looking into this. Why the hell is people saying all this bad stuff about, and I'll be perfectly honest. I haven't read any of her books, but a very good, bit of feedback that I glean on her, as a creator is that, she's just not that good at her craft. Okay. And what I'm saying is, again, as a person who hasn't read any of her work, I understand she's a writer, is I'm actually upset that she's not getting the support that she should be getting at the play, Marvel, DC, wherever it is that she works. I think she's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Today's creators, she should be getting a lot of support, nurturing, and/or mentorship, and also guidance to go back and research some of the stories that she's working on, and get some material and create original stuff that could resonate with not only the new audiences that Marvel and DC is trying to create, but also the existing. You can't just shaft, a certain part of the audience. Now, that said, I'm pretty positive, in fact, she's getting a lot of what you just said. Yeah. People who they're going to criticize just because they want to criticize. Oh, she's a, or I say she, I think it's she, it's they. So I'm sorry, I'm an old guy. I don't know these, today's terms, and you have to do this is that's another new thing for me. But listen, I'm trying, and the bottom line is that there are so many opportunities to leverage all of your creativity in this market space. This is America. You could listen. This is the country where you sell spam. Okay, spam is something that you could sell to people. Okay, if you could sell spam here, trust me, you could sell your comic book. Okay, so
all the spam likers are like, how dare he?
I hate
spam.
I hate him in a can.
Well, at least
But
Hagar agrees with you.
what do you think, guys? What do you think?
I guess Hagar can start. Oh, there we go. Nat, go ahead.
Jordan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you cutting in and out?
Am I?
Yes, you are, because you haven't said anything yet.
Oh.
What?
Anyways,
Is my bubble moving?
Yeah, you're fine. What's up?
Wait,
Yeah,
wait, what? Am I
I just want
moving
to
or am I?
know. I'm asking you guys what you think about today's creators, and at the big two specifically, and
I will
what
tell
you're
you.
seeing out of them. Do you guys read today's comics, or have you been up
Oh, I
on
thought
what
we were
they're
talking
doing?
about if we like spam or not.
I knew you
So-
jumped in for that.
I think I'm pretty well equipped to answer that question for you.
Yeah, Hagar's perfect to answer that.
Yeah,
question.
Jordan's. This is Jordan's field.
Yeah. So I only started getting into comics about 5-6 years ago.
Okay.
So if you look in my house and you look at my shelves, you'll notice something. On my shelves, there is not a single big name company on that shelf.
All right.
Why?
Indie all the way.
Why? Because I'm just going to grab one at random. Indie are where it's at.
Bingo.
Is
And-
that with our friend Dirk Manning?
Yep.
Yeah,
Dirt
Sure
Manning.
is.
Well, listen, we love people like you. Please keep supporting indies.
Yeah.
And this is just the source point shelf.
Nice.
I have a shelf out here in the other room.
The other
Nice.
companies.
Ow. I got, all sorts of
Oh, all right. Nice.
Sure, there's, I can pull one of, say, for example, this off the shelf.
Right.
It's not something I spend money on.
It's a good book that you got there, though.
Probably is.
And again,
That-
it kind of proves what German is saying is the fact that you had to pull out an old Marvel
Right.
comic.
Right.
You didn't pull out anything new.
1984.
See? As soon as you pulled it out and I saw the cover, I knew that.
Or let's see.
Yeah. That's the thing. We really are very fortunate.
Yeah.
It almost feels bad. Yeah. Here we go.
See, beautiful.
Yeah.
All the Marvel stuff I have on here is because of stuff I've won through giveaways. I did not buy a single
But
big.
you notice though that the Marvels you have aren't the recent stuff.
Well, I think this one is, but this one probably is.
Yeah, that looks recent.
Yeah.
Well, look at that. Out of all of those, you had one.
Well, I don't know how recent Spider-Verse is, but
That's actually a good story. So
Which Spider-Verse?
this one.
Spider-Man has
Relatively
always
recent.
been just a fantastic character. That character, I mean, he just transcends generations, and to this day, he's just a wonderful brand.
Where is?
I think he's looking for something in particular.
I am. Whoa.
Let's see.
Just blind reach, man. Blind reach.
There.
From that, oh, there you go. Oh, dude, that's classic, man. Look at that. Like I said, as soon as you pull out these books, I'm like, I know this book.
Yep.
I know this book. I bought it on freaking newsstand.
Now I will
I'm gonna tell you guys something. I stopped reading comics when I was about 19. I was in college, okay, and I went back. I got back in a couple of years ago, and I was shocked at the quality level.
Yeah.
I have to say, and just by doing that, I said, this is an opportunity here. And that's part of the reason why I decided to,
But your book reads like one of those books from the 80s and 90s.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why,
Mhm.
because I hadn't picked up a book since the 80s and 90s. If you look at my entire comic book collection, I think I have about, in storage, I think I have maybe about 5 or 6 long boxes. And I have some here in my apartment for reference. But they're all from the 90s.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. I don't have one comic book from the 2000s.
I have like the first couple of years of the 2000s, I was still collecting, but I was at that point I had stopped reading, and then
Right.
after that was when I decided that if I'm not reading the books anymore, then I'm not gonna keep buying them.
Right.
Even though because as a collector, sometimes you're like, I'll keep collecting.
Right.
Then one day I sat there and it's like, I haven't read any of this stuff in a long time, so I'm gonna stop.
Right.
That was a lot of money.
It's an expensive endeavor, that's for sure.
Exactly.
I'm thinking about this, and we have a new title. Our title isn't even 2 years old, the Calico.
Yeah.
But this is all to say and to speak to the other part of the market, which is the collector's market. I saw Here Comes Calico #1 listed on eBay. It was listed as a 9.8 sealed,
nice.
I guess.
Nice.
I don't know what you call it, with slabbed, I guess is the term. It was going for $120.
Sounds about right.
So, right. So I was like, wow, this is pretty incredible,
I know that the collectors love the indie market because it's what they're looking for. Is that rarity that they're looking for. Because you guys aren't doing those huge runs of comics that Marvel and DC are doing. To you it's a much smaller limited run. So collectors love that stuff.
I was talking to Ed Piskor. He's a creator, and he has this show. I think it's called Kayfabe.
Yeah,
Cartoonist Kayfabe or something like that. So I was speaking to him in I think it was Baltimore Comic Con. Yeah, I think it was Baltimore Comic Con, and I bought one of his titles, Red Room. And by the way, I highly recommend it. I'm reading it; it's pretty good. He's a good indie creator, and we're talking the same kind of thing about this, creating these comics and doing our thing at different shows and whatnot, and what they're going for.
Yeah.
And he brought up on his show, I just saw one of his shows, The Crow. The Crow only had like a
oh, there it is.
there you go. That's it. Yep. The Crow, I just saw it on one of his shows. He was doing The Crow. The first run, I think, was like 10,000. Yeah, right.
Damn,
there you go.
Look at that. You're on the roll, bro.
Right. And I think it was called Caliber Press was the first one that ran them. And they only did 4 issues. And I think the last one was like an 800 copy run or something like that. They were only doing 1,000 run, jobs for The Crow. And then, of course, a few years later, they made the movie and whatnot. Of course, those things.
Collectors love that stuff because that's the books that become what collectors are looking for them to become. And it's funny because I know you were there in the 90s when Marvel and DC did those huge runs because the people were buying the books because they thought they were going to be collectors.
Right.
Speaking of which, the Death of Superman is just celebrating its 30th anniversary, and
That
that was one of those events where everybody went crazy to go buy that book.
Yeah.
It was a good book, so I'm not going to say anything about it, but at least it was a good book. Some of the other stuff they were giving out in the 90s, which is why the whole thing fell apart.
Right. Yeah. The mid 90s was really very gimmicky.
Yeah.
Once they started doing the whole variants and they knew that the investors were coming in and they represented the 90s. You've always had readers and collectors. Well, in the 90s you had investors too. And that really brought it down. So that was touch and go there for a while.
Yeah, the Marvel almost died because that brought them down. They didn't get back in until like the movies started.
Right.
Yeah.
And and I understand why they had to do it, and it's great that they were able to to do that. But I lay the blame on people like Joe Quesada, for instance. He really should have. Now that you guys were making that big money, okay, now let's get back to pulling some of that money back into the creek. He had that opportunity. Some of these other people that, you know.
It's a good thing Tony's not here, because Tony would have jumped right into that one. I don't think he likes Quesada too much.
Yeah.
He does not.
Quesada did make some interesting choices that led the comics into a direction where they're in now.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this guy had, and listen, he's a Cubano. He's another Antillano, you know, Latino, and it feels bad because, you know, he's representing, but at the same time, hey, listen, you kind of had a lot of opportunities here to do something really great, but it is what it is. And thank you, if anything, Joe Quesada and some of these other guys, because if it wasn't for you guys that had dragged comics to where it is now, we couldn't even exist. So.
All right, I see we are at the mark. All right, so let them know where they can find you with all the good stuff while I show off your Kickstarter here on the side.
Everybody watching this, seriously, go on Kickstarter and find Here Comes Calico. The title is Here Comes Calico. It is an absolutely wonderful title. Calico goes up against people who abuse and kill animals. He goes after them with extreme, and I mean extreme justice. Batman leaves the bad guys tied up with Commissioner Gordon. Calico leaves animal abusers tied up. So he really goes after these guys hard. So if you love comics, if you like a really hardcore anti-hero, and by the way, these titles are rated M for mature. The Calico makes the Punisher look like Gandhi. Okay, so
dude, you got people, do yourself a favor. This book is amazing. You love the Punisher, the early Punisher. You're gonna love this book, because this is what it reminds me of, the early Punisher when he was out there just taking names.
Right. If you like Mike Barron's Punisher, if you like Chuck Dixon's Punisher,
Chuck Dixon.
You really, you're gonna listen. Chuck Dixon backed our second Kickstarter, and he actually posted it on his Facebook. Okay. Mike Barron is consulting with us, and every single issue that comes out, he reads and he gives me personal feedback. So, again, I'm very fortunate. Klaus Janson was the one who gave me mentorship to even start the Calico. So we've got top names who have been key to getting this title to where it is, and I'm thankful to each and every one of those individuals. And of course, the team that I'm working with. I mean, just look at this book. Raph, why don't you scroll down so that they can look at the cover?
Oh, definitely.
Just take a look at this cover that Raph is going to show you on the screen. And you scroll down.
Let me grab the right one here. There's a lot of little things up here.
Right. Right.
There it goes. Here comes Calico.
Yeah. I mean, just look at this cover.
That is beautiful, man.
So
dude, I saw this online. I saw it on your Instagram, and I started sharing the hell out of it because it's just beautiful, man.
Yeah, I mean, Garnaby was just hitting that ball right out of the park. I mean, you could see the shadow from the chain, and hitting him on his suit. He's coming out of the woods there with a machete. I mean, this guy's badass. And
here's another place where you can actually see that he may have a similar look to the Black Panther, but this is completely different.
Right. He's got his own thing going on, and the bottom line is the book, the hero, the price, everything about it. It's really great. If you guys love comics, give this a shot. This character looks awesome, and the story is really great. And guess what? Money goes to fighting animal abuse, and that's what we're all about.
That's what I love about this, is that you actually when you support the comic, you support this whole thing that helps out animals.
Right. It's a feel good thing. When you buy this, it's like, unlike other comics you're buying, this one actually goes to a really, really good cause, and it's the fight against animal abuse. The pre-order is only $6. It gives you the Here Comes Calico issue number 6, and if we meet our goal, which we always do, you get a signed copy, and there's lots of goodies that always come in with like stickers and whatnot. Yep. It's a really low price to get in. I mean, you can get a full set of I think the reader's only like $20 for the whole set.
It's so funny because when you find you at the show, it's a low price. When you buy it at the Kickstarter, it's a low price. Right. Usually you don't get this low of a price, especially in a Kickstarter.
Right. This is why we have lots of backers, but even though our numbers, the dollar amount is low, because we're frankly, even though it's American, we're all chasing the capital, dream or whatever. our focus is on fighting animal abuse through comics and getting our message out. We care about the backers, how many backers we are. So we're going to give you a great product at a really low price.
Right.
We don't, it's not about taking your money. It's about taking your money and turning it around and putting out a solid product and printing more of these babies so we can keep the cost down.
Right.
So go on Kickstarter right now, type in Here Comes Calico, and you're going to find Here Comes Calico 6. Support it. You are going to love this issue. And guess what, guys? You're going to get it ASAP, unlike a lot of comics that have you waiting.
It's amazing how fast you were able to get me the
Right.
the last Kickstarter.
Yeah.
I got it so quick. I thought I had just like put the order in and it came.
Yeah, we send out. We're ready to roll. So the minute you fund that baby and we hit our goals and the campaign is over, we expect to ship out comics. I'm not kidding. Within about a week or two. So we're finding a way.
I have to point out this here. 6 issues, $25. Sometimes you're paying $25 for one issue.
Right.
You got 6 issues here. If you
Right.
get the whole bundle, you get 6 issues for $25. Dude.
Yeah.
Talk about the catch-up bundle.
Right. It's a no-brainer for when you think about it. And then when you think about that, $25 goes to fighting animal abuse.
Exactly.
It feels good. I've heard a few people say it feels clean to purchase, our comics because they feel better about what they're doing. Doing a good thing. And the thing looks amazing. I mean, look at that set of comics. It just looks fantastic.
Dude, definitely. The covers, I gotta admit, like there hasn't been a cover that I don't like.
Right. It's hard. I always try to ask people, like, hey, what's your favorite issue? What's your favorite cover? And I'm torn. I mean, in terms of my favorite issue, I really like issue 5, the last one, the Jiggler was, man, that.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it's hard to decide because each one has something that happens in it that you're like, whoa.
Right. Right. It's good stuff, man. So,
yeah.
Guys, gals, and regardless of what you are, size, color, shape, politics, whatever, go on Kickstarter. Here Comes Calico. You're going to love it. This is a great comic book series. Everything about it. Do a good thing today or a good deed for the day and help us fight animal abuse through comics. You are absolutely going to love these comics.
Definitely. I completely agree. I have all of them. I love them. I can't wait to get 6. And one of the reasons I like having you on is because I really do love the book and I love the fact that it's for a good cause.
Right.
It's so, and I can see why people say what they say to you because it's so weird to be able to do something good and get something from it at the same time, and it be quality and what you're doing is actually helping things, Right.
And listen, it feels good to do it. Exactly. This is why I have the stamina to do all these things with these shows and these activities, and it feels great to share this. There's nothing like going to these shows and seeing the fans in person, face to face, and seeing how the comic book affects them, and the impact it's having.
And here's the good thing: if you guys are going to be in New York at the AnimeNYC convention,
completely wrong show, Ralph. Completely wrong show.
No, I was going to say it the other way. I was going to say New York Anime. I'm like, New York Anime. It sounds like a good show, but that's not what I'm talking about. It's AnimeNYC. If you're going to be there, you can actually go and speak to him and get the books in person.
Right. Yeah. Go to our booth. Mm-hmm. We're going to be at booth 2265, I believe. Yeah, 2265.
I have it written somewhere.
Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah. And
we were just discussing the people who are going to be there. Matt, while you're at it, read the whole list.
Whole list? Oh, yeah. Boy. I don't know if the connection is stable enough for that, but I will certainly try.
Okay.
I will certainly try.
Go for it.
I just realized the fastest lists you buried. Okay, second list. So how you guys doing? Okay, here we go. List.
Go for it.
Within our Artist Alley grouping, granted, there are more creators that we know that are there that are probably under different names, and we haven't gotten to which booths they are. But for the ones that we do have lists on, we have AnimeNYC at booth K25, Christian Angel at B04, Crystal Hearted Cat at L10, Cat Catalina and Phil Falco at G20, Knights of the Abyss H13, Pete Velasquez, otherwise known as
Fat Guy Inc. Yeah, I had a
That's
feeling
funny.
Matt was going to cut off. Let's see if he comes back.
still
I know that's what he was saying. You want me to read the list, the whole thing?
He cut off at that same point earlier too.
Hello?
That's funny, right?
Hello?
Oh, there you go.
Hello?
You were at Fat Guy
Hello?
Inc. Yeah, you were at Fat Guy Inc.
Oh, we know that Pete's gonna be there. We don't know if Both is gonna be there. Did I read out the number?
The other fat guy is going to be at Long Island Comic Expo, which is running the same weekend. So if you're not going to New York Comic, so there we go again. If you're not going to Anime NYC, go to Long Island Comic
You're thinking of the wrong one.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Our friend Shadow Rabbit is also going to be at the Long Island
Comic Expo, yeah.
I believe he's there one day out of the two.
I think he said one day out of the two. So you might want to check Shadow Rabbit's Instagram page to see when he's going to be there. I can do that too now. Go for it. Keep going.
All right. Then we have Tuskegee Airs at CO8, Hamling Illustrations at EO9, Lucid Sky at A13, Chiro Fish at C28, BB Sama at Exhibitors Hall. By the way, the rest of these are now exhibitors. BB Sama at 474, Color World at 940, DMT at 2,357, Sigma Comics at 2,265, Toy Mandala at 1540, Yukio Pop at 1943, and Seiju Studios at 121.
We have met a lot of people. Woo!
Yeah.
And for those of you guys wondering about the Long Island Comic Book Expo, here's Shadow Rabbit. He's going to be there for one day. Which day is he going to be there? Does it say here? Oh, there you go. We know he's going to be there for one day, so just keep checking. The show is the 19th and the 20th. Most likely, Shadow's going to be there on the 19th. That makes sense. And if you guys are not going to Anime NYC, check out Long Island Comic Book Expo. And these all these conventions are important to support. So, dude, if you guys find yourself and you can't get into the city and you're not going to, or it's sold out because it is sold out, head down to Long Island Comic Book Expo and help them out. Check out some books. There are going to be some great artists and writers and vendors there that you will want to see.
Support the indies.
Exactly. There you have it. We know where Sigma Comics is going to be at Anime NYC, and if you guys are here on Wednesday as well, when we do the written writ, we will continue the countdown to Anime NYC, and we will repeat all these people and their locations so you can be there as well. And then when you can't make it there, we'll go to these locations and talk to these artists and writers and vendors and bring it to you here on the Bitten Apple TV.
Excellent, guys. And, I want to extend a warm thanks to Raph and all the guys here. Thank you for having Sigma Comics and letting us talk about our company and what we're all about and what we do. It's always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
And always great to get.
We did so much geeking out today. It's not funny.
You didn't give me my closer. You skipped over me.
Well, we're not closing.
Oh.
You're closing now.
Oh.
He was just doing his closing.
Oh.
Go for it, Hagar.
This name was not the second part, but the first part on YouTube. 7 subs away from 5th.
So it's not Bad Attitude.
The Bitten Apple TV.
Yeah,
it's Bitten Apple TV.
I mean, you can go to that one too on YouTube. They're at like way more than I am, but
yeah, check out Hagar's YouTube. It has a lot of fun stuff there.
At noon Eastern tomorrow on Kickstarter at ardencomics.com, Dirk Manning will be launching his second wrestling-related comic book featuring, as I said the first name of, one of the founding members of the Four Horsemen, or currently on AEW, Arn Anderson.
Arn Anderson, man, that name is woo. Woo!
Can I just interrupt your closing? I was at Fanboy Indianapolis yesterday, and I'm pretty sure Arn Anderson was there.
Probably.
I was literally, I'm not joking with you now. I was a few feet away from Jake the Snake Roberts, like the whole weekend.
Nice.
His booth was like right in front of mine.
Yeah.
Next to him was Lex Luger. So he was there. I was next to him the whole weekend.
Yeah.
Next to him was, next to him was Big Papa Pump. Big Papa Pump was there.
Wow, that was some show.
Yeah.
Dude.
And next to him was, I'm pretty sure it was Arn Anderson was there because Jerry Lawler was right next to him.
Yeah, I saw that he posted a picture with a bunch of different colored crowns on his table. So I think he was at a con yesterday.
Yeah, we were where I was. I was in Indianapolis. We were there. I saw him. He was within touching distance.
And then
I went up to I don't want to.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah. Let me just keep it at that.
Sounds like you had fun though.
Yeah, we had a good time. It was a good time.
Go ahead, Hagar.
Right there.
Oh, right there.
There. Trying to think.
Blind poll.
Fan Expo San something.
San Francisco.
Yeah. Source Point will be there as Josh Warner, alongside one of the guitarists of Alice Cooper, I think.
Yeah, because they got that new book. Yeah.
Yeah, Crossbones Skelly or something. Josh, you can yell at me like that.
You do a good job keeping track of this, because I'm bad with names. So.
Yeah. And as we talked about in the first 9 minutes of this show, certain someone below me has a Kickstarter with 20 days left, and now to the left of me.
If I'm to the left, why are you pointing to the right?
There
we go.
Oh wait! That's our friend here from Calico. I show it again. Come on,
Shen, you can kick my ass later.
She's a little preoccupied at the moment.
Oh, that's fine.
Floofschmalo Genshin pins with Bitsy Tandem, and both of them will be on the show on Wednesday.
Wednesday.
To talk about this amazing Kickstarter.
Woo.
Don't forget to get your own pins, and it will come with a sticker and a pin.
And if you don't,
you're probably not into Pokemon. In which case, why are you even considering buying like the new games, bro? Like, why are you even trying, bro? You should go play Genshin. But guess what? You're not gonna play Genshin because you're gonna say that's too basic. You're probably gonna open up Nike because you really like the physics.
That Ash Ketchum is the master of masters now because
nobody really cares about that.
Let him win the whole thing.
Only people who still follow the anime care about that.
And if you don't back the project,
I guess I follow the anime.
If you don't back the project, I know your IP address. I am 50 yards away, and I am steadily approaching.
Jordan, that gets counted as harassment. Please no, Jordan.
Well, folks, these pins look fantastic. Shen has done a fantastic job with the art. Bitsy has done an amazing. Dude, this package you get here.
You gotta go down to what Bitsy did, man. You gotta scroll.
The package you get here is just amazing. Look at these beautiful pins. These are the pins that you're gonna get.
Look at their beauty.
It's a beautiful thing. Look at this beautiful thing.
Look at Thoma. Thoma's so cute. Look at Eevee. She's so thick. So thick.
I don't like the way you say that. Okay.
So thick.
Dude,
thick with 5 C's.
Calm down.
You tell him, Shen. I love this one. This is my favorite one.
That is a free pin that you get with a reward for any tier of pins. Wait, nope. It's with 9 or more pins. Cool. I can read. I'm not dyslexic. Yeah, I can tell the difference between 9s and 0s.
No, you can't.
Jordan, please. I'm supposed to be an editor. I'm supposed to look professional.
Oh. Yes, people, you got to support this. It's fantastic. It looks beautiful. Shen and Bitsy have done an amazing job putting this together. They're already funded. All the pins are open and released and ready to go. And look at this beautiful thing here that Flushmallow has as her personal, piece here. She did an
Maybe
amazing
we
job. I feel
might be
like
able
this
to
should
get
be a
her to
pin.
talk about that on Wednesday,
This
about her
should
little
be
profile.
a pin. This should be a pin. This should be a pin.
What?
Right, Floof Right, Floof Right, Floof.
And if
Sir,
Pokemon
sir,
Cross get and if
I'll have to ask
Pokemon
you to back up.
and if Pokemon Cross Dungeon pins aren't your thing, she also has a variation of other.
Arts on her site? Yes, she does.
Indeed. She has Pokemon and Okami up on her page, and she recently re-uploaded some of her old artworks, which is really cute, especially if you like Animal Crossing. Woohoo! Turnips, stonks, let's go.
Oh no.
All right.
There you have it, folks.
The lizards, right? Chen, right? Floof, lizards.
Yeah, lizards.
There we go. From her herself, lizards.
Don't worry, Shen will be on the show on Wednesday. She'll be more talkative.
Yes, I will make sure of it.
Is that a threat or a promise?
Both. Both.
Oh, I love when you two are together. Oh my god. So in case you guys are wondering about Floof and her Instagram beautiful art, there it is.
There
Go
we
find
are.
Flushmallow at her Instagram page, and you can see all her beautiful pieces she's put together, other than the pins that we have here on the show. And on Wednesday, we'll have both her and Bitsy on talking all sorts of beautiful art. And of course, we shall also have Crystal Hearted Cat here, and I have a couple surprises if it works out. But it's all AnimeNYC related because we're heading to AnimeNYC.
消えれてのこと嫌なってやことと何をやなとた
There you have it, folks. This has been Apple Bites, the show where we take a bite out of things and share it with you to let you know what it tastes like. All right, folks, I'll do what I always do. I'll press the button.
And
And
where
where
it
it
is,
stops,
no